Every story has a version you've heard and a version you haven't. The facts are there, but facts don't always explain behavior. And behavior is where the truth starts to surface. We don't rush to conclusions. We don't chase noise. We look closer. We ask harder questions. Because sometimes what's missing matters more than what's known. This is Shenanigans, Criminal Conversations, where facts guide discussion and perspective changes everything.
Good evening. Oh, of course, my voice just came
Good evening. Yeah, that was bad timing.
That was awful. Well, I was looking at myself. We can see two of us in our viewpoints, and I'm like, oh, my background doesn't quite cover everything. And then never mind. It's ridiculous. Hi, how are you, Carrie?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a rainy day. My hair has been very clear on the humidity levels today. I don't know why yours looks so dang good, but because I know
I just did it because it doesn't always look good. Yeah, we're flooded here, so I mean, pretty flooded.
That's crazy. Well, and you're
I think it dropped a foot of rain in about 5 hours this morning.
Oh wow! So it was all day rain for us, on and off, and lightning and whatnot. I know, and I'm in the Wichita area, and I know you're about an hour and a half, about an hour south of me. So you guys were really getting hit hard.
Yes. Well, hi, Debbie, Patrick, Bianca. Hi, guys. Nice to see you.
So many people in the chat we know. Let's see. I'm going to go through the chat real quick so I can see there. Hello, Deb and Patrick, Miss Bianca. So thank you guys all for joining us. If you're not familiar with the show, this is Criminal Conversations. We discuss true crime. We're carrying on Carrie's legacy from Carrie Moody True Crime. Last week we had an update. Oh, the comments are not picking up. Last week we had an update on the Kansas Moms case. That's Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. It'd been a long time since we had been on the air. We wanted to kind of pick up where we left off at. And so I do owe you guys some information on the no contact order. I completely forgot about that. So I need to get that taken care of and get that delivered to you guys. And I'll do that at the top of the show next week. But I do want to step into this crazy case of Mackenzie Shirilla. How many of you in the chat are familiar with the 2022 case of Mackenzie Shirilla? She is a 17-year-old who was driving her 2018 Toyota Corolla, and she had her boyfriend Dominic Russo in the car. He was in the driver or the front passenger seat, and then their friend Davion Flanagan, it was in the back seat on the passenger side, and driving 100 miles an hour, approximately 100 miles an hour. She drove into a building, a brick building. The result was she had catastrophic injury to her arms and legs. And Davion and Dominic did lose their lives in that car wreck. She was arrested a few months afterward for several charges, two of them being murder. And about a year later, I think in 2023, she was found guilty on 12 charges, two of which were first-degree murder, two of them were aggravated vehicular homicide, and then there's some other charges thrown in there. But the two that she is serving, she's serving 2 consecutive life sentences for the murders of Davion and Dominic. But she is up for parole after 15 years. Probably considering good behavior, which she hasn't been doing.
Yeah, so it was 15 years to life is what she received. And I think it's we should note too, unless you were going to later, that she actually had a bench trial rather than a jury trial.
Yeah, her lawyer
suggested her life in the hands of one person. Never put your life in the hands of one person.
Always a jury of your peers. Always. That's 12 people you have to convince versus one who probably has. That's the difference between a bench trial and a jury trial. You're talking to somebody on a bench trial. It's the judge, and their background is the law. There is no as jury members come back and ask, can we consider this? Can we consider that? Because they don't understand the law. So to put your 18-year-old life in the hands of a judge who thusly called you hell on wheels, quote from the judge, you are hell on wheels when she sentenced her. That was very poor advice on her attorney, who I found out was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a few months after the trial, I believe. I have to do some more investigation on that, but that is what I understand. So, first off, just to kind of get, I guess, a real quick, what does everybody think? Like, what is do you think she's guilty of murder or not? What in the chat, what do you guys think? While the chat is answering that, Carrie, what are your thoughts? Just before really getting into things and doing the research that we did, what were your thoughts?
I mean, my first thought is, was she trying to kill herself too? Because why else would she have done that? Why would you go 100 miles an hour as fast as you can and run into a wall if you weren't trying to kill yourself? They said that she was under the influence of marijuana.
Yes, and I do have her drug report to show. I have a bunch of documents that I found, but yeah, she was under the influence of Delta-9 THC. She had edibles in her system, which was Delta-9 edibles, and those process one way in the body. She had inactive THC in her body, which means she had done some the day before, maybe a couple days before, although she had a reputation of smoking or doing marijuana daily. And then she had active THC in her system now, and I'll show the toxicology, but it says that impairment in the state of Ohio is 2 nanograms per milliliter, and she had 10. Now, important to know, she's 5'7", and at the time weighed about 90, 95-ish pounds. But I don't know what her tolerance was, and you can't test for tolerance, which is why I find it interesting that despite the fact she was 5 times the legal limit, they did not consider drugs a factor due to her social media activities. They said that her social media showed that she was smoking it every single day, so she was fine. It's basically
right. So I know, like, the defense wanted people to believe she was high. Prosecutors were like, even if she was high, that doesn't explain driving 100 miles an hour into a building high on Delta-9 or THC. I don't know. Don't people usually slow down when they're high on that stuff? I don't think that they usually speed up. I mean, it's like, hey, it's a green light. You can go now. And then they go 25 and a 45. So I don't know.
I don't either.
I did not watch the whole trial, so I'm missing, probably a whole lot of context.
Well, yeah. There's something in let me show this comment because it's
did not try to slow down. There was no braking evidence.
No, and I have the expert witness testimony on that. But True Crime Unleashed says if you also look at it, she did a dry run of that crash 3 days before she actually did it. I don't know if it was a dry run, True Crime. I know there are pictures on her social media with the building in the background. I'm not going to say that's premeditated. Because I have the stretch of road. In fact, let me do a screen share. And Carrie, I always forget how to do this until I'm right up on it. Screen share.
So there was roughly 1/2 a mile available before impact.
I'm gonna show you. Actually, it's 3/4 of a mile before. But I'll show it to you. Let me see if I can bring this up.
And she continued to accelerate right into the impact. She didn't.
Let me see if I can. So if you're looking, I've got this. Yeah, everybody can see the screen up. Yeah, I can see it there. So when they start the timeline, she was traveling south here on Pearl Road, and then she takes the westbound turn onto Progress. So from Progress to the point of impact, it's just under 4,000 feet. She was driving a Toyota Camry 2018. For a Toyota Camry and a 2018 Camry, it needs roughly 1/4 of a mile to hit, and we're going to call it 97 miles an hour because the experts, they had 2 experts who talked about the speed, the top speed. And then they had Live 360 apps from friends who had their location that show top speed was somewhere between 97 and 98 miles per hour. So you could just jack it up to 100, those 3 miles, 97, 100. It doesn't make much of a difference.
But in that time frame, there was enough distance. If she had tried to brake, there would have been enough distance for her to be able to brake.
Yes. If she, yeah. So by the time there was camera footage from this building, which is I think it's the Parma building. And then this is the building that she hit. I can't remember the name of it, but this Parma building coverage, there's footage there and I can bring it up, shows her at a high rate of speed. And then, so by this point she needs this is about a third. So even if she hadn't been at a high rate of speed here, she could have started her high rate of speed in that Toyota Camry and rammed into the building going 97 miles per hour.
So didn't she, she was going approximately 100 and then she left the roadway, struck a sign and then slammed into that building?
She did strike the sign. Yes, there was a sign that, so actually, let me pull up the photos. You guys are just going to go on this little journey.
Just going to make me think then it was not intentional. She was being very reckless.
Reckless? I'm going to definitely say reckless. Where did I find those videos? There was, that's the crash scene. No, I want to do the crash scene. Oh, what are we looking for? We are looking for, yes, it is actually the crash scene photos. Okay.
While you're looking, Deb said, didn't we hear that the boyfriend wanted to break up with her? Yes.
Both.
And didn't she live with her boyfriend? Yes.
Yes.
Why would parents allow her to live with the boyfriend as a minor?
Good question.
Good question.
Would love to know. I have thoughts about the parents.
Sounds like she's a little out of control already. She was close to 18 though, wasn't she?
She turned 18 just a couple of days before after the crash.
She was 17 on July 31st. Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys, this is now the wreckage is behind. So this is the sign that she hit. And she's behind in the wreckage. She actually hit this corner, and you can see this is her passenger side tires, and then her driver's side tires. So she actually went off the road before she hit the intersection. And then, if you read the report, the police report, she enters the roadway, which is this roadway here, which is Alameda. This is Alameda, and then this is Prospect. And then she hit the sign. So right about here, she's going roughly 97 miles an hour. She hit the sign, hits this corner. Now the driver's side of the car hits first. So the side that Dom and Davion are on hits first. The impact is such that it pushes the car to the point where the driver's side hits, and then it whips around. So the front of the car is right here. So it's facing south. So if this was, I have a hard time with intent on this. It's almost like something went wrong, and there's no breakage. And that's one of the other things in the report. There's expert witnesses report. They tested the car. They had the black box on the car, and the car shows no service brake. So the foot pedal brake was not used. But the car did shift multiple times between drive and neutral, which I found interesting.
It makes me wonder, was there an argument going on in the front seat?
Well, you say that. See, oh, I did it again. There's another interesting video of, let me find, I should have just pulled all these up and made separate tabs for it, but I thought I could handle this, and I was wrong. So I find so this is the video where she is going, her car's coming up right here. And she comes up to make this turn, and I want you guys to see if you see the same thing I do. So
we can't see that. We can't see that there.
You know what? I'm so glad. So now I know I can just skip from.
Yeah, just go on to your next screen.
Gosh darn it. I stopped sharing. I have to start sharing again. I don't know how to do this. We'll figure it out. Okay. There it is. Okay. So now you can see it.
Now
So this is Pearl, and this is Prospect, I think, is the other street. And so this is her car. Now, what do you guys see right there? See, you've got lights here, and then you've got a light right there on the inside of the car on the passenger side. There is a blue screen activated in that car. So a phone, a tablet, there's something inside that car that is lit up. Can you guys see that? Carrie, you muted? I don't know if I can. Oh, Carrie, you're muted. Ah.
Yeah, I can see there's something. I can definitely see there's something lit up. It looks much bigger than I'm looking at it on my TV. Sorry, but
nice.
That's why my head's turned.
I want a TV.
It looks a lot larger than it almost looks like some of the cars that have the screens, you know, for your backup and your radio and all that stuff, but it's not turned the right way. So I don't know what that is.
Could be a tablet.
Could be a tablet.
I don't know if they're working with a tablet, but they've got a blue screen type device. There's something in that car, and I don't remember seeing that in the list of things they found in the car. But I find that interesting. Were they videoing? What were they doing? Were they distracted?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can see that light all the way through. So that made me very curious. So this point right here was the starting point of the how do you switch? Oh, that's how you do switch to this tab. Stop sharing. Oh, how do I do that? Carrie, you're gonna show me how to do this. I'm getting lost.
Yeah, just do switch to this tab. That's all you need to do.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff, and you can see
all right.
I did.
Yeah, it'll end the screen that you're on, and it'll just put the new one up.
And now I got Google Maps. Let me go back to this. So that video was Progress. I keep calling it Prospect. It's Progress and Pearl. So she turns, that's where that light from that car was at. And then you can see the surveillance video right here where she's at a high impact or high speed. So I'm going to switch over to that. And then if I can, it won't move for me. It doesn't let me. Okay, we're going to stop sharing so I can go backwards on it because this is being stupid. It's end users issues. It won't let me move my screen now. Oh, that's bad. Huh. Why is it doing that? Oh, for heaven's sake. It won't let me move the screen out now. There we go.
God. And you're not even technically challenged. You're not.
Just like, oh my gosh.
But you're struggling here.
I am so struggling.
I promise she's really smart.
She's not either. Not today. Oh my gosh. Okay. So if we come to here and you look at this is that Parma place. So this is about we're up to a little more than a quarter mile out, and she is gunning. She's going. She's at a high rate of speed. They're far faster than she should be going. But I didn't see if, let me see if I can back that up and hit play. I want to see if we can see that light in that car. It's going too fast. There's a glare from the top of the car, but I can't see inside the car. I think this is the same footage. Yeah. So if we go the other direction, and that one's got sound, so you can kind of hear. So she's going pretty fast there. And this is the intersection that she guns through. And this is the sign that she hits. So you'll be able to see this. See her head, there she goes. So she plowed right through the sign.
Yeah, you can hear the crash. Holy cow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And Carrie, if it's too much for you, I just realized what I was doing. You just tell me to stop. So yeah, that's
Wow.
so there's no breaking. There was
So is that
no.
an intersection right there?
Yep. So this is the end of Progress, and
Gotcha.
then this is Alameda,
So
and
she could only
then
go left or right.
yes,
She
she
actually
had to
kept going
stop.
almost straight, didn't she?
Yeah, she went straight. I mean, she veered into this grass area right here before she went through the intersection into the sign into the brick building. Now, one thing to be made aware of, um, this was a common road that these kids and other kids, other people take this road. I can't remember what they called it in the documentary, and those of you who've seen it, remind me of what they call this road. This is this goes through an industrial park area of Strongsville, Ohio. So there's not a lot of cops on this road. Now, other big roads like Prospect is another big, well-traveled road there in Strongsville, and it's known for having a bunch of cops. Well, if you've got weed and mushrooms and paraphernalia on you and you don't want to be detected by the cops and you don't want to risk getting pulled over, you're going this route. Now, the prosecution argued she took this route intentionally because there was no cops and no one would get her. But everybody else on the documentary said, yeah, that is one of those roads that folks take so they are not detected by the cops because they have stuff on them and it's a quick shot through the area that they're trying to get through. So it's a type of shortcut. That's not the actual name they used in the crash documentary. So if somebody remembers what they call that, it's not a thoroughfare, it's not a shortcut, there's another word for it. So even though there's no braking, I still have a hard time believing that this was intentional. Why veer off into the grass if it's intentional? Just drive straight through. Just drive straight through. So I don't know. I have questions about that. And then let me see if I can find the where was the
Like, were they trying to film? Because didn't she's pretty big with social media. I wonder.
huge,
It almost
yeah.
looks like a laptop to me in that car.
That's a good point. It could have been a laptop that was turned towards her
I
to
wonder if
take
they
video
weren't
to record her.
Yes, that's kinda what I was thinking. I
I'm
mean,
so
I
glad you
don't know. I
mentioned
don't know what she said, you know?
she has no memory. She claims
That's
no memory,
interesting.
which is not
Mhm.
unusual for this kind for any accident, really. My neighbors were in a really bad accident around, I don't know, 6, 8 months ago, and it was a husband-wife pair. He was driving. They were driving back at night. He wasn't paying attention, apparently. He ran a stop sign and ended up being T-boned by somebody else. His fault. Um, they were both, badly injured. The wife remembers the entire accident, from the time they got in the car and started driving until they were hit and they needed help because she was awake for the entire thing. She received the major extent of the injury. She almost died. He was not hurt as bad, but his injuries were pretty bad. He doesn't remember anything from a mile before the accident. Zero memory, and he has no memory of anything after until he woke up in the hospital. So everybody responds to those kind of things very differently. But I'm glad that you mentioned the laptop and recording something because there was reports, and I can share this link with everybody. I'll put it into the chat because this is one that I found doing some research. Several times in the evidence, there was mentions of, she put this on social media. She was driving at the time. There was little emojis, little hearts, little extras put into there, but we don't know if she did that while she was driving or after the fact. So she was known for recording while she was driving solo and being recorded by Dom, who was normally in the car with her.
Yeah,
But they
that's
don't
what
know when
I
the
think that
editing
was a
portion.
laptop. I think it was a laptop in there,
It's
possibly,
very
and
possibly.
they were recording for social media, and maybe that going fast was a whole part of their plan. I don't know. See, I don't know much about it, so coming from, that angle, I'm like, I just find it so hard to
Mhm.
believe that unless it was, um, like True Crime Unleashed said, that this could have been a potential murder-suicide scenario, except she survived. That's, like, the only other place my mind can go as far as was it on purpose.
Well, and I know that in the crash documentary, they showed text messages where Mackenzie talks about crashing the car and Dom talks about, "Hey, get me out of here. Mom, help. She's going to crash the car." However, there are also text messages that were not included in the crash, and I forgot to bring those up today, but I'll try to get a link and share that. I may put in the description their comments later. Mackenzie also has text messages where she said, "Dom, I don't trust you." And she was very toxic. She was very aggressive. She's very passive aggressive, very petty. But in her text messages, she talks about how Dom pulled on the wheel while she was driving, almost ramming her into the wall and killing her while they were in the car. So this was not just Mackenzie doing reckless and rage road driving. He was known for interfering with the driving as well, and he did admit in the text messages that, yeah, he had done that and he shouldn't have.
See, that's why I said earlier, I wonder if somebody wasn't trying to grab the steering wheel or
That's what I'm looking for,
were they
yes.
trying to shift it or something? Was somebody else in the car being stupid too?
It could be. I did see, I want to find that report, where it showed how the car, it was easy to find the first time, and now I'm just like, I can't find anything. But yeah, it showed how in the crash said, and the expert did testify, the steering wheel was pulled on during the high speed,
See,
and
I
it went from drive to neutral multiple times. The crash said it just switched once. The report shows it went from drive, neutral, neutral, drive, neutral. Like it was more
or
than
it could have
once.
been the passenger trying to stop her as well. So,
Well, yeah,
or, slow her down or something like that. It
yes.
could be either one. We'll never know probably because sadly the passenger deceased.
And I guess if you go through all the stuff, let me share this link. Copy, let me bring it over here. Hopefully it'll work. If you go through all the stuff in the police report, it shows that Davion actually survived the crash. They didn't think he was alive when they got to him. They thought he was deceased, but once firefighters got there and they took the jaws of life, and got him out, all three of them had to be mechanically extracted. But once they got Davion out, they realized he had a faint pulse. And they tried to get Life Watch there. They actually had 2 Life Watch helicopters on the way, one for Shirilla and one for Davion. And then Davion passed at the scene, and they 86th the second Life Watch. So at first they thought they were going to be able to save him, but that did not turn out to be so. The extent of Dom's injuries were severe enough. I mean, his head was crushed per the reports. So there was no way he was going to make it at all. And that is hard. I wish I could find the I mean, anybody can go through here. This is not a hidden site. Like I said, I found it. It's court document archives. But
Tons of videos and the
yeah.
interviews and if you guys haven't listened to phone calls from prison, has tons of her phone calls.
Oh, I wish those phone calls are they're disappointing.
She has not made herself look good since she went to prison for
No,
sure. So that doesn't help her case whatsoever.
No.
I wonder if she'd had a jury trial, the outcome have been different? I think she would have got time, but I do think it would have been different.
Well, I think they would have. It's to me looking at, and this is just a tip of the iceberg, right? This is just getting started on information. If I was on that jury trial, I would want to know, was she impaired? Because they also brought up during the crash that she had POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I understand that. I've been tested for that because I have something kind of adjacent to it. And I have been in the vehicle where I got a signal that said, pull over, you're going to have an episode. And I pulled over, and I was fine. It took 20 years to figure out what it was. And if she was doing drugs and had POTS, then this whole thing can be explained by her having a medical episode because she was high. That drug does not mix well with pots. It's not a good idea to mix pots with weed. What pots is, it's one of those things, if you have it, then you know that when you stand up, you get dizzy, you black out, and you can pass out from it. It's usually very big. Most of the people I know that have it are lanky, skinny, scrawny, skin painted over bone looking type people, just because the blood pressure is so low. And so doing weed can also impact your blood pressure and your heart rate. And so if she was doing that, and she had a good defense, the defense could have argued, and they did try to, that she has POTS, prove that she doesn't. And that would have given reasonable doubt. And she would have at least got an aggravated vehicular homicide, because she was high, she was past the legal limit, and 2 people died in her care. So that she should be in jail for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's, I don't know. I have a hard time believing that this was, 1, premeditated, and 2, intentional. I really have a hard time believing that.
What piece of evidence do you guys think most, and you too, Tara, convinced this judge that this wasn't an accident?
Social media. I think her social media
did her in.
I saw a lot of it on the crash. I went back and looked at some of the stuff that's out there today, and she's, in my opinion, Mackenzie Shirilla is very out of tune with reality.
Yeah.
She is a narcissistic person. Everything is about her. It is her way or the highway. Dom was not much better. There's videos, and it's even on the crash, and I found some other ones where she recorded, and she may have triggered him. Let's be honest. Mackenzie was not a victim of anyone but herself. But where Dom was yelling at her and hollering at her and calling her names, but it's, he got to a point that was just his reaction. But I don't think this girl knows real emotion is. I don't think she knows how to show it, which is why she doesn't show remorse very well. She doesn't understand what guilt is. She has faked things so much in her life that faking feels normal, and anything genuine feels fake. Like, she doesn't know how to embrace that side of her. And this isn't to excuse her. It explains her. She should still be in prison because she was high and she had 2 people in that vehicle with her. It's the same as drunk driving.
Yeah.
If you are drinking and driving and you hurt somebody, you need to be held accountable because you took the drink, you took the drugs. So I'm not saying I want this girl to be walking around free. She needs to go to jail for the drug paraphernalia, for the drugs on hand, the reckless driving. If nothing else, these guys were jacking around in the vehicle, as they often did. And their social media proved that as well, that they were always recklessly driving. They should be, those accountabilities that's what she should be held accountable for. The murder charges, I don't buy yet. I just don't see enough to buy it. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that the outcome would have been different if it had been tried in front of a jury. I think
it's tough.
Oh no. I feel the same way you do. I think that I don't see that this girl, but then they said that she did a practice run, right?
I think True Crime had said that. True Crime Unleashed, I think, is the one who said that. I hadn't seen that. I heard premeditated because there's a picture of her in front of the building. But again, these kids frequented this road because it was an easy way to avoid the cops. And she'd already had a couple of run-ins with cops. There was one incident of road rage. I don't know if she started it or the guy did, but there was a back and forth between her and a guy. And actually the cop that had to tell her parents that Shirilla had been in an accident was the same cop that responded to this issue with the road rage. The guy that Mackenzie got into it with kept getting out of his car at stop signs or stoplights and approaching Mackenzie in the car. And Mackenzie filed a police report on it, apparently. Mackenzie had also been, she'd gotten tangled up with some mean girl bullying and was well known for being a bully and that kind of girl that if you have a problem, Mackenzie's probably it. there's a lot of nasty text messages out there. I don't know if you've seen the show Mean Girls, that one prime mean girl. I don't remember the names of the girls in that show, but it was often said that was her hero. That's who she was really into. So I don't know. She's not a likable person. As a jury member, that would be hard to be like, you're so cute. No, you're like, oh, you're gross. You're not a nice human being.
And we can play, there's a 10-minute video of her sentencing if you want to play that, Tara.
Yeah, do you have the link, or I can go grab it?
I do. But Patrick said the fact that there are so many possible causes automatically creates reasonable doubt, but that's harder to show in a non-jury bench trial because it's only the judge's opinion, not 12 jurors discussing it. That's exactly where I'm at, I think. Yeah, let me share this real quick. We'll watch this short video.
Like me trying to get it up. I keep messing with my microphone because I don't like where it's at, but yeah, true crime. Her reaction at the hospital was no remorse except for her own. She did ask about Dom and Davion. They don't show everything on the documentary, but she did ask about them. They didn't tell her, so she didn't know what was going on. The cops advised the parents, and there's video of that from the body cams. Do not tell her anything about the boys. Okay, we've got the video. Cool.
Yeah, let's play it.
Yes.
We'll have to stop it and talk, for...
Yep.
But, okay, so here we go.
I'll be that to state, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
Today is the sentencing.
Can you guys hear that?
For the purposeful and intentional murders
I can
of
hear
Davion
it.
Flanagan and Dominic.
I cannot hear it. Oh,
and in a
I
way,
know why.
it's the second time their families are gathered again to grieve. It's also a day when Mackenzie's family will grieve for the future of their daughter. All three of these families and the friends of these families are suffering, and all of their lives have been irrevocably changed because of the actions of the defendant. The unintended and collateral consequences of a selfish, intentional, and cruel decision by Mackenzie will ripple forever in time. It's literally changed history because it's ended 2 lives. 2 young men are dead. Their deaths were horrible, terrifying, and tragic. I will say again, if any reasonable person reviews Exhibit 802, there can be no doubt in your mind what happened this night. There can be no doubt of the absolute terror of the 2 people in that car. The defendant controlled all the events. She chose the day. Specifically, she chose a day just before her 18th birthday. She chose to drive the car, the time to drive the car. She chose an obscure, previously scouted route through an industrial parkway. She chose the target to hit and the victims. She chose the means and the method to follow through.
Did you stop it, or did?
Wait.
Oh, you're breaking up real bad. We can't hear you. You're breaking up. You're in and out. So I'm not sure. Carrie's technical difficulties all over the place. Just watching her right there, maybe she really does feel something, but what I see is somebody who has a hard time showing emotion that doesn't look selfish, because that's all she's ever done is been selfish emotion, no consideration for others. I don't know what she looked like throughout the trial. It was hard to capture all those videos because they were so chopped up between one another. But I don't know.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay, good. The reason I stopped it is because the judge said that she intentionally planned this the day before her 18th birthday. And to me, that makes no sense at all. Why would she plan something the day before 18th birthday? She's surely smart enough to know that at 18, you're going to be, sentenced as an adult if you do something stupid.
Well,
That doesn't make any sense to me
she was
why.
charged as an adult anyway. These are adult
Yeah,
crimes that she was
yeah.
she's not that smart.
But the
She's
judge said she planned it for the day before her 18th birthday.
when
I just thought, well,
she mentioned a piece of evidence, specifically 802, I think is what it was, or 804 or something. And that she's actually, the judge sounds like a trial lawyer. She doesn't sound like a
right.
judge at all. She sounds like she is trying the case on behalf of the prosecution. So I have issues with how the judge is presenting the information because she's very emotional. And I've seen a few judges in play, and I think the judge was out of line. But Mackenzie shouldn't have done a bench trial. That was on her. Her parents
Right.
really mean this girl is completely underdeveloped emotionally and
Mhm.
psychologically. She's got issues. Um, she's just a supreme narcissist because everything's always been about her. And I'll have to show you a video of what I think is her parents and her sister in the hospital. You would not believe what her sister looks like. These are two completely opposite children raised
Oh,
by the
wow.
same two laissez-faire, free-range type of parents.
Wow.
Yeah, so yep. Sorry,
Okay.
play.
That's okay. No.
Fruit. And she planned and purposefully executed the events of July 31st, 2022. The review of the evidence supports the factual findings, the forensic testimony, the testimony of the first responders, the testimony of the emergency room doctors who treated the defendant, the testimony of the coroner's medical examiner, the testimony of those who knew the victims and the defendant, and the testimony of the BMV official who provided evidence that not only did the defendant deny any medical condition when applying for her license, which her mother co-signed and attested to, but also that just after the accident, Mackenzie renewed her driver's license and again denied any medical condition.
Pause it right there.
In fact, the defendant was so concerned about driving that
You do not, and I'm speaking from somebody who has had episodes where blackout is an option. It's under control now. You and I was actually just at the driver's license place today and the other day, had to update information on my license and helping my daughter get hers. They do not ask for medical information. Now, my brother has had seizure issues along with my nephew. They had to report that. The doctors have to report something like that, a seizure. But with POTS, you don't have to report it. That's not the same thing. And then I'll have to check with Ohio law. But I don't believe that POTS is one of those that you have to report because it's not something that is controlled with medication, but you don't have to report it and doctors don't have to report it. So,
yeah, I don't think I've ever been asked about medical conditions getting a driver's license.
Yep. And there it is, Patrick. And Patrick's got a litany of medical experiences. Never been asked for medical conditions. And you've lived in a few different states, Patrick. So I'm not, and I know the judge says I don't see it. The look on her face, that one tells me that was a genuine look when the judge said this was intentional and planned and you meant to do it. And the look on her face, I don't think I have a hard time with that one.
I do too. Look on her face to me is like, no, I didn't.
Yeah, that's a genuine no, I did. But she doesn't know how she closes. It's almost like every time she's in a true emotion and she can't hold it back, she closes her eyes. Like she's trying to dissociate or she's trying to figure out. She was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, but so is every other teenager out there.
Right.
It seems like, yeah. So I'm not buying that into it a whole lot. And if you are depressed, I get the anxiety thing, but if you are depressed, weed is the last thing you should be doing on it. That's not going to help you there, but sorry. Keep going.
Yep. That or the alcohol. Okay.
Right.
As the state mentioned, during the investigation, she asked if they could just suspend her license for 10 years. It is hard to fathom how a person could be concerned about their driving privileges, having just been responsible for the deaths of 2 people. There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. The record is clear on the facts and the evidence. Her mother's uncorroborated statements without any medical testimony or records is not persuasive. It is also important to remember that even if Mackenzie intended to also die in this crash, that is irrelevant. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. And even in a murder-suicide attempt, when the perpetrator executing the plan survives, the other death or deaths are still murder. There's only one person who's responsible for the pain of everyone in this room, and that person is you, Mackenzie. Nobody else is responsible. This isn't the fault of Dominic's family or Davion's family or your family. And I know that each of you have asked your questions to yourselves, what if? What if I had done this or that? The truth of it is,
Okay, so I noticed something there. When the judge is saying you did this, you planned this, she's shaking her head no, like hanging her head down, shaking her head no at all the right times. But here at what we're watching now, it's more she's not shaking her head no. So it's like, yeah, I know I'm responsible for that, but I didn't do these other things you're saying I did.
Yeah,
And
I've
I
seen
could
the same
see a
thing.
teenager responding in this way.
It's a good catch.
none of us can control the intentions of another. And when there is a purposeful intent to harm or kill someone, it is the perpetrator alone who bears the responsibility for the choice and the consequences and the harm that follows. The difficulty for sentencing today, honestly, is whether or not I believe you should get consecutive sentences. I'm troubled that should I give you a concurrent sentence, that people will believe that somehow I'm being disrespectful to one of the victims. And on the other hand, I have to weigh the punishment. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. That won't be up to me. That will be up to the parole board, and that will be up to you to a great extent. I understand that the pain in this room wants me to impose the harshest sentence, but I don't believe that would be the appropriate sentence, because I do believe that Mackenzie will not be out in 15 years. So she's sentenced on count 2, the murder of Davion Flanagan, 15 years to life. She's sentenced on count 1, the murder of Dominic Russo, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other with credit for time served. I'll waive fines, fees, and costs, and your appellate counsel will be assigned. Are there any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Pause it. So we've been talking about her shaking her head when the judge says you did this intentionally. Mackenzie shakes her head and starts doing her breathing and shakes her head. No. At the very end, when the sentence is laid out, 15 years to life, and you're likely going to spend the rest of your life in prison, Mackenzie did not shake her head. She did not do. Oh, you're muted, Carrie. And I can't unmute you because you.
I am. Yeah, I feel the same way. Everything, about like criminal, reading their body language, things like that. And I know you're pretty well versed with that as well, that she's shaking her head no at the times of when, the judge is saying, you did this, you did that, especially like you planned this and all those things. But at the end, she doesn't shake her head no at all. It's to me like she understands that she's responsible, but doesn't feel she should be held responsible, if that makes sense.
I think that makes a lot of sense for Mackenzie. That's been her attitude about things in general, based on what
yeah, and it still is her attitude for the most part.
Oh yeah, her prison calls definitely reek. I shouldn't be here. I think the one that I was listening to today, and I think that's one that you sent me, was this book isn't going to get me through. I need more. This is so boring in here, and it's like, girl, do you remember what got you there? Like,
yeah,
it's not Camp Cupcake, sweetheart. This is real life adulting.
Mama's trying to make it pretty cozy for her there.
Oh, Mama,
which isn't helping anything.
She is another one that the body cam footage. I found the same one that they used for the crash documentary, and I'll tell you right now, I am not happy with the cop that was talking with the family. And I wonder if I can figure out which one it is. These are things I've got to learn how to flag, but I was so excited when I found this and I started just perusing through it. The body cam footage that you saw on the crash showed the officer going to mom and dad Shirilla saying, I need to talk to you guys. There's been an accident. Your daughter was the driver. She's fine. She's going to be fine. She's in surgery. But there were 2 other passengers with her. They're both dead. They're gone. They're no longer with us. Who are they? And it's like, I'm sorry, excuse me. You're not supposed, this is information you don't need to be sharing with that family. And I realized they were trying to figure out the identities. They kept saying there was Jacob. Jacob was in the car. Who's Jacob? Because the first responders claim Mackenzie said Jacob when she was found. They also said she was mumbling. So
do you want me to play this? You want me to play that, Tara? The body cam footage?
Yeah, if you
when
found
her parents learned she's the sole survivor.
That'd be great because you can find that stuff faster while I'm dinking around in there. So that was one of the things I didn't like about the cops is saying, who's Jacob? Jacob's gone. Jacob's dead. And they're like, Jacob, he's redheaded. He's tall. He's thin looking, da-da-da-da. And they're not putting 2 and 2 together. And they say, okay, we found Davion. Davion's fine. It's not Davion. So they told the parents it wasn't not Davion, Dominic. They told him that Dominic was fine, despite that Dominic was the one that was the most injured in all of it. Here it is.
Mm-hmm. All right.
To a miscommunication with Mackenzie. The police believe the passenger's name is Jacob. They have already identified Davion. The officer informs the Shiriilla family they need help too. Identify the last passenger. Do you think they were helpful? Well, it didn't help that in the end the officer incorrectly confirms. It's not Dom. They don't seem to do much to help identify the last passenger. Mackenzie's mother seems more concerned with the car and attempting to suggest the illegal substances found in the car could have belonged to one of the boys. Despite knowing their daughter often used drugs. However, they were found in Mackenzie's possession, quickly dispelling that theory. What do you think? Did the officer make it too confusing? Should they have tried calling Dom's mom to check? Watch the interaction now.
Wait to say this. Progress in Alameda, car into a building. 2 are deceased in the vehicle. Daughter's driving. Who died? I don't know whether, but there's one that we don't know. His name's Jacob. Does anyone know Jacob?
Dom?
No, stop. Let him talk.
Guys, I know, we've been dealing with this. Your daughter's okay. She's talking to us. I talked to her, okay? Your daughter's alive, okay? Your daughter's alive. She was driving the vehicle, okay?
Who's that? Jacob and who?
I think what's the name you said?
Dom?
Might be.
Oh my God.
Stop.
What's his relation to you?
My boyfriend.
Okay, yeah, Dom was in the car.
Stop. What? Are you kidding me?
Ma'am, it's
What?
that's where we're at right now. Okay?
What did she say? What happened?
It's right now, it's an ongoing investigation. Speed is definitely a factor. So are drugs.
Oh my God.
So do you guys know anyone named Jacob? Anyone? Okay.
I don't know. I've heard the name before.
Okay. Do you know his name? No one knows his name. Okay. So we don't know his name either.
Cut a nephew, Jacob, but they don't.
How old's that Jacob?
He'd be
20. Okay.
21. He's real tall.
Really tall. Red hair.
Jacob wouldn't have been with her. He wouldn't have been with her. It's the one that was
Wait,
staying at Dom's
Dom
house.
is dead? Dom is dead? Dom is dead? Is that what you're saying to me? Look at me. Is Dom dead?
There's no easy way for me to say anything right now, man.
Don,
This is a serious situation.
Dom with curly. The same Dom maybe-
Well, I have a big problem with the mom's emotions, but I mean, mom's not, she wasn't on trial, you know, but That, I mean, I can see why the daughter is Mackenzie's the way she is. Dad
Oh,
looks pretty
there's-
upset about the whole situation.
yeah, Dad's got his own
And maybe the
angle.
mom's just trying to process what happened. I mean, we all process things in different ways.
Yeah.
But
Well, the cop did more undue harm than anything else. All he had to do was to walk up and say, "Look, your daughter's been in a car accident. She's currently in surgery. Her outcome you can discuss with the doctor. We have spoken with her. We didn't get a whole lot. She had 2
Mhm.
passengers. Would you have any idea who those 2 might be?" That's how you do that, and then you go back and get the contact information, contact those families to say, "Hey, can you account for Davion and
Right.
Dom?" You cannot.
Mhm.
"Okay, can you give me some information? There's been a car accident. We've got 2 unidentified passengers. We'd like some of your." That's how you do that. This poor I'll give the family some credit right here because the cop goes from Jacob to maybe it's Dom, it's probably Dom to okay,
Right.
we talked to somebody else. It's not Dom. Dom is they had not talked to Dom or anybody in Dom's family. But they came back and said, "Okay, it's not Dom." And then the family had to go back through this rush of emotion where they're like, and it's not shown in this particular body cam footage. They find out later on that it was in fact Dom, but he was so badly injured, it was hard to identify him. His head was
Mhm.
crushed in the accident. Um, so this I have a problem with this cop right here.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
terrible. This added more. This confused the family. Is it Jacob? Is it Dom? Who's Jacob? What the hell's a Jacob? Jacob wouldn't be with her. It's got to be Dom. They know it's him, but they've got a cop saying, "Yeah, I don't know it, but it probably is. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. No, it's not." It's like, dude, go away. You're not doing your job very well. You made the situation worse.
Teresa, go away.
It's like I would too. I fired enough medical people when my son was in the hospital. I have no problem firing a cop next. Be like, you got to go. You
Right.
are no longer on this case because I will not work with you.
For sure.
And it should have been when this. The problem here I have with mom and dad is they don't know like which friend is which. Like, and they didn't even think about Davion. When Davion was mentioned later on this clip, they don't even know who. They don't even mention. They don't acknowledge that they know him. Mackenzie did give them the name Jacob. They thought Jacob was what they heard from her, but she was mumbling incoherently too when they found her.
Known male that was in the vehicle, or first name.
First passenger was Davion. Not sure if you're with the driver's father, but he did just call from our waiting room requesting to speak with an officer.
Yeah, I'm with them now. Davion?
I don't know.
Davion.
Okay.
That's all I know.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
Davion. That's all I know. Okay? All I know is his name is Davion.
Davion.
That's all I know.
Davion and Jacob? Or Jacob and or Dom and
Davion and Jacob. That's all I know.
Dom is not Davion. Oh my God. No, there is a
See
Davion
that?
and there's a Jacob. Oh, no, I don't know a Jacob. I don't know a Jacob. I've heard of him. But I know.
What does social worker tell you guys? Anything else? Okay. Daughter's alive. Okay. She's gonna be okay. That's what's most important here. Okay. What's that?
Does she know about their third?
No, I love. We're gonna keep it that way for. Okay, she's getting worked on now. Okay, that's all I know. I'm just telling you what I know. Okay, I've met you before. Okay. You can hold this for me. Thanks.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know. So we just can't say anything.
I met you once. I think I met you before. Someone was following her. She hit a car. Sheets, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I met you guys
Well,
before.
no, she didn't end up hitting it. That was-
I know. Right. We got to the bottom of that. Okay.
police officer, I don't like the way he's acting. Like, like 2 kids just died and their daughter's in the hospital, and he's man, I wouldn't, if I was in that situation, I don't know.
I'd fire him. I'd be like, "Hey, you got to go. Give me another cop. I'm not talking to you.
Like,
I'm not helping you."
like no emotion. Totally, like he just seems like he's
Well, he seems annoyed. He's like, we've met before.
annoyed. Yeah.
He's annoyed 'cause he knows the family. We've done this before, and he was the cop with the road rage and the dude that got out of the car with Mackenzie several times. But it's, yeah, I don't like his demeanor at all. And he has no business telling the family that their daughter's going to be fine. That is for a medical professional to offer, not this police officer. So I've got several issues with this cop. But now this is one of the things, and I'm not a documentary fan, but I will watch them. I don't know if I'll ever partake in one. And that option has presented, but not my style. The crash did not show all of this. It did not show how the cop conducted himself in this entirety. It just showed, the first few minutes, and that was it. It didn't show this back and forth. We're not sure. Yes, it's Dom. No, it's not Dom. It's not Dom. We're good. It didn't show all this. And I have an issue with the crash on that one. But you know about how I feel about certain documentaries.
Right.
Oh my God. Hold on to this for me, will you? Call boss. Guys, can I step up? I'm gonna make a phone call. Hey, so she's not gonna be up for a long time. She's in surgery. Parents are here. They told them about the names of what I have. They don't know anyone named Jacob. Where do I stand with the next baseball guy? What does that mean?
I could see that, Tara.
Do you want to tell the parents about it? Not a person. And she's already looking at, but, no, I mean, they're doing the right thing for being here. I just did 2 notifications of parents pretty much. They're not doing so bad. But yeah, the detective scan, correct? Okay. I'm just going to give a heads up. That's all. I'm going to split. And I'm saying the doctor's name is taken care of. All right. How old does that Jacob look?
How old does he look?
They have, what color is his hair?
Red. It's already been stated.
Red. Skinny. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, bye. Oh, God, help me.
You need help, buddy.
All right. I got to talk to you one more time. Let's let you know where we stand as a police department, okay? Where we stand today, okay? Full transparency here. There's drugs in the car. She had a bag of mushrooms on her and a scale. Full transparency, guys. I'm sorry, I'm ripping the Band-Aid off. Okay? Drugs in the car. It's a mess, okay? We're not going to do anything with the blood draw or anything here, but it will probably be subpoenaed, just so you guys know. They're going to subpoena for a blood draw for the sample. Okay? Since she's unconscious, I really will, if you guys could talk, if she wakes up, we need the name of that passenger, okay?
Wait, you don't know it?
We don't. All I know is his name is Jacob.
Where were people in the car?
She was driving, one in the back seat, and Jacob was in the front. Davion in the back. You're the parent. I mean, you have the right to know. This is serious. Let me get some info from you real quick before we leave. Okay, just phone numbers, basically.
You hear all the cops' sighs and stuff. Like, he's totally sounds like he's annoyed with the whole situation, and possibly already convicted Mackenzie at this point.
Well, I think probably the run-ins he's had with Mackenzie and the family doesn't give him any hope that that's in his mind. I think they think this is a DUI, and I think actually in Ohio they call it an OVI, operating a vehicle while intoxicated. So I'm sure he's thinking she was driving while high again, and she was on that road again, and she went. So I think in his mind that it's aggravated vehicular homicide, which is what happens when you drive OVI and people end up passing away because of your choices to drive while high. I don't think he's thinking this is murder. This what they got on site that day did not result in murder charges. Those took experts to come up with. And the rest of this video really, because I've seen it, he's just going to get mom's information. Mom doesn't have her information. So he has end up getting it from her orally. And then she asks about the car, wants to know what's happening with the car. Where is it? Where's it going? And it's like, no, ma'am, this is not, they told you it was a mess. They told you like this is, but to your point, everybody deals with grief differently in different spaces. But that's, I don't know.
I'm with you, Debbie. She just isn't normal. I agree. And it gives us a glimpse into why Mackenzie is and acts the way she does as well. I think. The parents. So the parents in our situation, as well as us, were horrified for each other. The mom of the driver was at my side for months and still to this day. Yeah, that would be me, 100%. That would be Tara, probably everybody in this chat. So yeah, the moms, you can just tell that, she created the monster. So.
Well, and it goes to show from the prison calls, and you guys can go find those on YouTube land. Mom is still enabling and empowering her daughter to be the way she is, to the point where Mackenzie has well over a dozen different incidences against her since she's been in prison the last 3 years. And they're drugs, they're inappropriate propaganda, sexual interactions that, she's not supposed to be having. She's not
There's
learning her lessons.
lots of rumors she's like the mean girl, head of the Mean Girls Club. There's an interview out there I watched today with somebody that was in jail with her. So there is an awful lot out there on this case. It has come to a conclusion that she was convicted 15 years to life.
And the sentences are running concurrently versus consecutively.
I wonder if she's going to attempt to get a retrial.
She has tried. She's tried to get an appeal and tried to a couple different appeals. I think the latest one just earlier this year went to the Ohio Supreme Court, and they said, we won't be listening to any more of this. So stop.
Interesting.
So
I would love to know why the attorney advised for a bench trial.
Yeah, I would love.
There an interview? Are there interviews with him? Has he spoken since this? I wonder.
I can't imagine why you would tell somebody to do a bench trial in that situation. That's
especially a just 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And
what's interesting about this trial, this situation, the accident occurred in 2022. The trial was completed in 2023. She was sentenced, and so she's here in a few months. She'll start her 3rd year at the correctional facility that she's currently at in Ohio. So this was very quick turnaround of events, no time at all. And you have to wonder too, right? How many times have we seen some social media things, some influencers who are just unsavory? You have to hate watch them because you don't know what else to do. And then something bad happens. You're like, yeah, serves you right. And I hope it's the worst possible thing you can get because you deserve the worst no matter what. So it's almost like her own social media presence worked against her. Like she's got that attitude. She's got that demeanor. She has that way about her that makes her unlikable. Watching her on the documentary, The Crash, she tried to hold herself together. She tried to present as best she could. And I think she did question, like, you could hear her, and they kept it in there. They did not edit out when she looked over at the team who was doing the recording. And she's like, did I say too much? Was that okay? And she wasn't like endearing in it. It was just her normal Mackenzie rhetoric. And they're like, nope, that was great. That's what we were looking for. So she didn't.
So I still haven't watched that documentary. It's called The Crash, and it's on Netflix, right?
It is on Netflix, yeah.
Okay.
It's about an hour and a half, so it doesn't take too long to watch.
So I'm guessing that documentary is what sparked all the new interest in this case.
Yes, yeah, it definitely is. I know that my
'Cause it's
daughter.
all over YouTube for
It's like,
sure.
yeah, YouTube, my feed, everywhere on my
Mhm.
social media stuff. My daughter, she just turned 16. And if she's listening, happy late birthday. I think she's actually at work right now. She just turned 16 earlier this week, and I sat down with her and asked her about her thoughts on the case. And she had a gaggle of girlfriends over here this week for her birthday, and I talked to a few of them, and it was interesting because they're all like, "Have you seen her social media? She's guilty." Like she totally killed them both. Like she tried to kill
Mm,
herself and those boys. She's totally guilty. I'm like, well, what makes you say that? Well, haven't you seen her social media? Of course she did it. Haven't you heard? So they're only going off
interesting.
the things that they've been fed on social media. And I
Right.
was like, well, wait a second. Did you guys know about this, that, or the other? And they're like, well, no. What are you talking about? And so we started to have conversations, and it got to the point where the girls had to get going. They're like, "We're coming back to finish this conversation because now we're all kinds of confused. Like we were certain she should definitely be in jail, though." I'm like, "Well, why?" "Well, because she's a terrible person." I was like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, there's that ticker, right? That okay, so maybe we're
And maybe that's why the attorney did not do a jury trial because he knew her personality would not go over
maybe."
well with the jurors.
Oh, yeah, yeah, she wasn't gonna go over well with jurors at all, but
No.
maybe so what if that attorney also is like, "Hey, I got a chance to get one more off the street before I retire, before I go senile,
Right.
and let me get this little hoodlum off the streets." Because I mean, honestly, was it a matter of time before her recklessness did end
Oh,
up doing this
definitely.
anyway? I mean,
Yeah, I
so
think so.
is she in the right place, especially if she's commandeering control and making up her own little mean girls clique and getting into trouble?
Yeah,
Maybe she's cut out for prison. Maybe it's better than her being in
right.
a gang.
She
I
seems to
mean,
be liking it from what I've heard on calls and social media and what
she's
have
not
you. She
hurting,
seems to No, not at all.
not
Um,
hurting. I
yeah,
mean,
so, I mean, I think you're right, Tara. She would have wound up in prison the rate she was going anyway.
well,
And,
drugs
that's
at that
sad. She's
age.
a young t she's a kid still,
Yeah,
but she is
yeah.
who she is going to be probably at this point in her life, so,
Well, now she's got the encouragement that she needs to
yeah.
continue being that way because her
And
parents
to learn a
really
whole
started
lot
it.
more bad things while she's
Yeah.
in prison.
Well,
So, hopefully she doesn't get out. I mean, I totally agree she should be there. I just don't know that I agree with murder charges and,
I agree with aggravated
I
vehicular homicide for
aggravated, yeah.
certain. I don't like the
And
murder charges at all.
I think if they had done a jury trial, that's what they should have gone for. But,
I don't think she would have served as much time, and I think she needs to serve some time behind bars in a facility that is not her stomping grounds. I think she's in the wrong facility for certain. But she was 17. Uh, um, how much of the responsibility is on the parents?
right?
Because you've seen there's a couple of school shootings out there that parents are being held accountable for the
Yep.
shooters. At what point in time, because this girl, 17, not living at home, living with her boyfriend and his parents, doing drugs. Dad knew the drugs were going on. Now there's a lot, actually, and I wish I had remembered it tonight. Mackenzie was trafficking drugs just like Dom was. There's evidence of that all over the place. There was also what appears to be some prostitution going on. Like she was selling her body to the bidders that were out there. Then there's all these social media posts of her and Dom with this enormous amount of handfuls of cash, stacks of
Mhm.
cash. And so there's questions about where is that money coming from? What are you doing? Then you go back through some of her text messages. You're like, oh, you're offering to sell pictures of your body for 1,000 and you're offering to do videos for 2,000. This is making sense.
Wow, yeah.
So at what point in time, why should we be holding those parents accountable? They knew about the drugs. They knew
Mhm.
that where she was getting them from. They knew that she was living this lifestyle. I mean, they
Yeah,
have social media access, and they certainly have friends who have kids with social media access where they can hear about Mackenzie was smoking a ginormous blunt on camera yesterday. It was huge, bigger than her head type of like I
mm.
have the parents have some
Parents
responsibility.
might have just, like, given up on her. She might have caused so much trouble that they're like, "You wanna go live with your boyfriend? Go live with your damn boyfriend."
It's
I mean,
that could be the case because Danielle's a very different cat all the way around. I've heard that she's far more
right.
responsible. She's deemed the more mature one of the two. Um,
Mm.
but I mean, I think prison's a good place for her for a while. I don't know that I agree with the experts, and I know not every expert is totally correct. They're not always perfect. They're not always right. I'm reminded I watch all kinds of criminal true crime stuff. I think it scares my my boyfriend that one day he might become a story on my behalf. But I remember there was one on that was listed on forensic files, and it was a woman who lost her baby in a house fire. Cops thought she set the house on fire intentionally in the baby's room to kill the baby intentionally because they couldn't get to the baby because the baby's room was blocked off by the fire, but everybody else in the house got out, including the little sister who was 4 or 5, maybe 6. So the police were looking at the mom as the arsonist and were getting her for murder 1. And they got her for it
Mm.
because of an expert testimony that said she started the fire in the boys' closet because there was a fire trail. Their expert opinion led them to come to that conclusion. She knew she didn't set the fire, and so she started doing some research. And if you, she's passed away now from cancer, but if you would listen to her talk, she had a slower roll and very southern accent. She just sounded like she was just very, you know, of the minimalistic type. She didn't want for much. She just wanted her kids and to be living her life. So she went out and figured out to find the right expert. And she found the right guy who looked at all the evidence and said, "Y'all, there was some old ass wiring in this house, and there has been some rain, and there has been some insulation issues, and these things are the perfect formula. This fire started upstairs above the baby's bedroom, not in the closet, and they could prove it that way," which overturned the mom's conviction for murder 1. So 2 types of experts, both in arson, one is
Mhm.
specific type of arson, one not necessarily. And so I'm not saying this is Mackenzie's. I think Mackenzie deserves to be in jail. That mother did not. Um,
Yeah.
it's just
And the experts are paid. So they find an expert that agrees with their scenario or what their defense is.
mhm,
Prosecutors find experts that are going to agree with what they're saying.
right.
And how do I put that?
Just
I know of some experts that have done national trials, and I wouldn't touch. I wouldn't trust them with anything. I really wouldn't.
yeah.
So,
Well, that's
expert opinion is an opinion, and
yep.
just know that they find the opinion that they're going for. You know what I
Well,
mean?
the Kansas mom's case is a perfect example of
Yeah.
that. We've got a defendant that is currently, quote unquote, and this is me saying this, not the defense saying this, they're expert shopping. They are looking for
Mhm.
experts to feed or help them create a narrative based on what they have to work with. They're saying, here's our hand of cards. This is what we have to work with. What is our best play? We're playing Texas Hold'em. Which card should we
Right.
put where? And they do that all the time. So you have to be careful. This is why it's so important to be your own best advocate. So Mackenzie Shirilla was not a good advocate for herself. She is her own worst enemy. There's a
Mhm.
Pink song about that. She probably knows that song very well, but she should have taken it to heart. And her parents, I'm saying this as a parent, if that pisses them off, great. Let's have a conversation, come up on the panel and let's talk this out.
Right.
You're responsible. You failed. I've got
Mhm.
a 16-year-old. She's my last
They
one.
failed their daughter. Yeah,
Yes,
they did.
and she was the older daughter. I was on top of
Right.
my older kids like white on rice, and my younger one, I'm like, "You seem a little more self-sufficient." Like you but she's been watching all her brothers make the mistake. She's been watching and learning. The babies tend to need
Mhm.
less. They're kind of more of a self-adjusting parent. They still need
Yeah.
guidance. They still need parental care. They and I hear people say this all the time, "We're parents, not friends." Bullshit. We're
I mean,
both.
no. Yeah.
You have to be both. There's times your kids don't have friends and they don't know how to have friends.
Mhm.
You are their first friend. You help them navigate that kind of relationship. And her
Yeah.
parents never parented. They were always, it seems like always
Friends.
friends.
Right.
Or they
Super
got
Dave
let go of
said,
okay.
same time I wouldn't be giving my own daughter a car until she turns 18. Funny because I had 2 so I had 4 teenagers all at once. 2 3 3 girls. 3 teenage girls all at once, and they were all within same, 2 to 3 years apart. And my oldest son and my youngest daughter, I didn't allow them to get their licenses till they were 18 because they weren't trustworthy enough. They really
Right.
weren't. They were doing things they shouldn't do, and nope, they didn't need a license, and especially the youngest daughter at that time. But
Yeah.
I did what I did as a parent to try to keep my children safe and other people safe, and so yeah, I think that there is to a point we're definitely responsible for what our children or teenagers, whatever, go out into this world
To
and
a
do.
point, yeah. Yeah, to a point. If my kids go out and do something stupid today, I'm gonna be like, I showed you a better example than that. Like, come on.
Right. I
Um,
mean, there's, obviously you can be the best parent in the world and still have a
oh yeah.
child that, is problematic. That happens
Mhm.
all the time, and like it's okay,
Yeah, it
You're
has.
not alone there. I think every family has one, and if you have more than a couple of kids, you probably do have one that's been
Yeah.
harder. So, to a point, parents definitely, I think, should be held responsible
Yeah.
for the actions of their children, teenagers, what have you. I'm curious what the chat thinks.
I am too, because I know Mackenzie was just a few days shy of 18 when this happened. So is that a cutoff? And for me, it's like this wasn't something that happened just before she turned 18.
Mhm.
This situation had been taking place for years. She'd been with Dom since she was 14, and he's
Wow.
2 years older than her, so he was 16. And so they'd
Huh.
been together that long, and it's like, if you've got a toxic relationship, you guys
Yes,
all
very
knew
much.
this. Funny how
And for a
nobody really.
teen girl, that's hard. I mean, it really is difficult to be a
Right.
teenager, a teen girl, and I imagine it's even more difficult these days than what it was even when we were
Oh, I
growing up.
can imagine. I cannot imagine.
There's a
Um,
lot of pressure. Um, Social media can be very, very, very cruel, and
it's
there's a
difficult to
lot of
navigate
pressure.
that.
Yeah,
I don't know, I don't know, it was with parenting, it's moderate pressure applied consistently so the kids know there's expectations and there's things they need
right.
to do, and they get a little bit I think it's harder to have the same amount of energy for the last one as the first one, especially if there's multiples involved there, but you have to do your best, right?
They
The
just
first
don't have the full baby books.
Yeah, right.
First one, you have
Um,
everything. By the time you get to your fourth one, you're staring at the book 15 years later going, "Oh, shit."
well, because it
So,
doesn't apply.
still
It's
haven't done that
that's
book. I have a cross stitch for my youngest son who's 23 years old. I started this cross stitch when I was pregnant with him, and I still have it in my top dresser drawer. I never did finish that damn thing.
that's funny. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. But, I don't know, there's just I don't know. I don't think murder's the right answer for Mackenzie. I think prison is the right answer. She is responsible for taking drugs. She is responsible
Mhm.
for constantly doing drugs. She's responsible for her actions behind the wheel. Um,
Yes.
and her parents have
She knew.
responsibility too. And the other 2 boys, they were not innocent by any means. They were all drug users. There is social media evidence of that everywhere. That doesn't mean they deserve what happened
Right.
to them. I don't think what happened to them was intentional. I think this was one of those, "Oh my god, what's going on?" or "Crap, we weren't paying attention, and now we're flying into the wall."
Yeah, I mean, things happen fast.
Oh my
They
gosh.
happen real fast, and, yeah, I mean, my heart breaks for those boys and their families, and, um, but yeah, it's a sad situation. I'm curious to see what the chat thinks and what viewers on replay think. Let us know in the comments.
Actually, I'm glad you said that. I found something when I was in playing with the studio, and let me see. So can everybody
Oh,
see?
you did a poll.
Yeah, can everybody, like,
Good
is it active?
job.
I know, right? I'm so smart. I don't know if everybody can, there's one I don't know who's can y'all vote? I know somebody did, it looks like maybe I did. Or no, I didn't vote that. Who voted that?
Wasn't me.
Can you guys let's see here. Let's put it over there. Can you guys see that, and can you guys participate in that? Does it let you participate? I don't know what it
So
looks like
what's
on.
the question? Did Mackenzie intentionally? I don't have glasses on. Intentionally?
Did, did Mackenzie Shirilla intentionally drive into the brick building?
Ah.
And so there says there's one.
I mean, there's a lot. It's definitely, there's like 4 different ways of thinking on this. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So
all
the poll should be at the top of the chat. Let me look.
Okay.
Let me look on my phone and see where it's at.
Well, according to the chat, there's Duster Kitty says they're unsure. Deb says yes. She
I see no.
did.
I don't see a poll. Oh, I don't see the poll because you ended it. That's how you have.
Oh,
the,
I resumed it. I resumed it. I put it back up there.
Hmm.
It's on this. Oh, I don't even know. This is.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but it's fun to figure it out. We'll play with this some more.
Yeah.
Okay, so for this one, I don't know if we'll come back to this case or not, just because the crash came up. It was, a hot topic to talk about.
Yeah.
But in the comments of this video, I'll put the links on some of the stuff that I found, and you guys add your. Thank you, Deb. If it's not there, then I don't know we'll figure it out. I don't know what to do with this thing. But I'll put some links in the comments, and hopefully you guys will have some more to say in the replay. But next week, I want to come and talk about that the horse stabbing in Las Vegas. This is pretty significant. There's some interesting stuff out there. I definitely want you guys to come back, and I'll try to put some stuff in the Facebook group to prepare you guys a little bit better. And we'll have a in-depth discussion. That just occurred. There was a gal that was a part of a barrel racing competition in Las Vegas. She had been stalking a couple of other competitors and their mares, and was able to gain access to those mares and stab them and cut them. And thankfully, the horses are all doing well. There was no fatalities. But she could be looking at some serious prison time. So definitely want to get into that. This is a very fresh and new case. And then Carrie and I were peeked into a case close to where we both are at. So we may be looking into a case close to home. It's brand new as of this month. It's barely, gosh, Carrie, I don't even think it's.
I think they just put out a statement in the last day or two, and that's how everybody has found out. Because we didn't know.
No,
we didn't know there was a murder right down the road. So
seriously, now in Wichita, I hear about it all the time, but in Carrie's part of the world, it's not as common. And so you would think a murder, a death would be big news in small towns, but this one slipped through the cracks. So definitely going to be talking about that and see if we can get some insight,
some interviews, talk to some sources and people.
Yeah.
So so if you watch this and have any information or you want to discuss that case with us, Tara put her email in the chat, and you can reach out to her. And then also True Crime Unleashed, absolutely. Email Tara, and we'd love to talk to you.
Absolutely. What happened, Deb? What happened? We don't know. That's the thing.
So all we know.
Really know.
Okay, the town is about the size of maybe 1,000 people. A group of people came from Kansas because we're right at the Kansas border. They came from Kansas. They went to a party in this town. I don't want to give it away right now, but they went to the party in this town that only has about 1,000 people in it. And one of the men, 29-year-old, found deceased on the side of the road at the golf course, which is right on the highway between these two towns. Anyway, it happened about 2 weeks ago, and nobody around here heard about it. The sheriff's office put out a statement today, and it's been handed over to OSBI. That's a good thing because people don't, kind of like with the Kansas mom's case, people were already shouting in chats and comments on Facebook, we're not going to let this slip through the cracks. We're going to get him justice, things like that. So you can already tell people are pissed off because why didn't anybody say anything for 2 weeks? Why are we just now hearing about it? Small town. We should have known, right? So It possibly could be over some jealousy issues. We don't know. We don't know. So that's just from reading comments and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, so there is as of now, there is nobody is considered a suspect as of now, and OSBI is taking it over, but it is very, very new. So yeah, I
Yes.
think we should maybe take a look at that. And if there's any other cases you guys want to take a look at, you can always put in the comments or you can
Yep.
email Tara.
Indeed. And just so we're all clear, we're not talking about true crime solving. We're just discussing and having in-depth, robust criminal conversations. So we've had several in the past couple of years have reached out to us to help them solve crimes. It's not what we do necessarily. We really just bring a different perspective to the table, bring up some different things to think about, and get those mental juices flowing and get
Yeah.
the conversation rolling. So just going to put that out there. But I am so glad you guys were with us tonight. If you're watching us on the replay, thank you so much. I don't
Yes.
ever say this, but Carrie gets on it to me for not saying it. But I know Carrie mentioned it earlier. If you haven't subscribed and liked, please do that. It does help the channel a lot.
Mhm.
And if you have anything you guys want to tell us about or share with us in terms of information out there about other cases, let us know, or cases we need to take a look at. And see, yes, Dave, thank you.
Yes.
It's nice to
Thank you
have
for
you here,
joining us.
Dave. And then Deb, yes, we will get back to the plea deal situation. We will definitely be covering the Kansas mom's case continually on this channel, without a doubt. I do owe you guys some information about the no contact order. I was not prepared. I have completely dropped the ball on that with my daughter's birthday and trying to I barely got prepped for this. You guys could tell that I was barely prepped for this. So, but I refused to reschedule because I want to stay on track with you guys. So I will have that update at the top of next week's show for you guys. But until then, thank you so much. I'm glad you're here, Carrie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and thanks to the chat. If you were new, we appreciate you coming in and talking with us and giving us your opinions, and differing opinions are always very welcome. You'll find often Tara and I have differing opinions as well. So that's why I love this. We
Yeah.
don't have to agree on everything.
Correct.
So yeah,
It's
so we'll
fun.
see you guys next week with a whole new story.
Yes.
And I'm anxious. We'll be well prepared for that one.
Hopefully. You guys have a great night. Thank you guys for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye.